Commissioners, if you would turn on your microphones. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dawson County Board of Commissioners work session. Today's Thursday, February 18th, 2021. Appreciate those of you who are in attendance, as well as those of you who are watching us online. We'll get right into the new business. First up, we have presentation of the Georgia Forestry Commission Cooperative Purchasing Agreement and Memorandum of Understanding. Emergency Services Director Danny Thompson. Danny.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board. I'm having to bring this to you. Last year, about this same time, you all signed this same agreement. Part of the agreement, I will refer you to the last page, page 4, section 4. And it says the agreement shall be effective upon execution by the parties and be renewed unless there's a change in the fire chief, EMA director, or the state forestry director. Well, Georgia Forestry's got a new state forestry director. So they're having to redo all of their MOUs and everything. We just did this last year. Really the only thing that changed from last year was initially it was a 3-year agreement, and now all state agreements have went to a 5-year agreement. All the remaining terms are there. The document has been shared with finance, human resources for the insurance validation. I did not share with the county attorneys because really the only change was they went from 3 to 5 and everything else was the same. And I'll answer any questions that you may have. Questions. It doesn't have to be ratified tonight. It can.
Questions for Chief Thompson.
And I noticed you've already signed it.
Correct.
And dated it.
I did.
Okay.
But I did not for the chairman to sign.
I have
left that. So the chairman still has put his final John Hancock. Once y'all bless it.
Questions for Chief Thompson. This is something we've had for a very long time. So our cooperative agreement with the Forestry Commission.
And it works.
And it does work.
Good.
Thank you, Danny. Next up, we have presentation of staggered terms and appointments of members to the Industrial Building Authority of Dawson County. Betsy, you gonna do that?
Chairman Coates had a family emergency and could not be here, so I am here on behalf of Gary. We've gotten a little bit off track with our IBABC board appointments. We went several years ago to an annual meeting and just in getting adjusted to that, and some people have rolled off and terms have gotten a little bit out of whack. So you can see here, I think you have in your proposal there, we're proposing to extend Chairman Coates' term to December 2021, and then extend Brian Trapnell's to 2021 as well. So that kind of gets us on a December timeline, which is what the Development Authority is on. We also try to keep those boards similar because it's very, the structure itself is very confusing. And if you have 2 totally different boards dealing with the same issues, which is really how they work, then that's even another layer of confusion. So we've proposed Mike Ball rolled off the Development Authority, and his term on the Industrial Building Authority was expired. We proposed to replace him with Jerry Allen, who has agreed to serve. He's already the treasurer for the Development Authority, so he can take that same role with the IBABC. Makes things much easier at the bank. And then, so we appoint him, and then we'd reappoint Calvin Bird, who has served on both authorities as well. And those terms will be 2025, and we'd be on that every 4 years, somebody's rolling off.
Questions for Betsy?
So Coates and Trapnell would go off in 2020.
Coates and Trapnell would go off this December unless they agree to serve again.
Oh, okay. Oh, you don't know if they are or not.
Well, we'll have to cross that bridge. I'm pretty sure that Brian will. Gary is, as you know, is retired, and I'm not sure if he will want to continue to serve or not.
But nevertheless, would it be in 2026 when
the other 2 would roll off December of 2025? So you'd be appointing somebody to take January 1, 2026 for the other 2.
Okay.
Other questions of Betsy? Thank you, ma'am. Next up, we have discussion of potential COVID-19 vaccination site. Tim and I were going to talk about that. We had been approached by email, and I forwarded that email to all of you from the Department of Public Health, or our health department here, in reference to having a site other than the health department itself that they could use, preferably, I believe it was Monday through Thursday. Tim had some conversations with them, and we had made some preliminary arrangements for the old bank building that's across from City Hall. But I think it's since then, there had been some discussion, I guess, with the Department of Public Health, and they're no longer interested in that. But we wanted to leave it on the agenda so that we could get some input from the board in reference to, I think the preferred site, Chief Thompson probably speak to this, is Veterans Park. So Chief, if you want to come on up and kind of go over what they've discussed with you, the board can see if we can figure out a way to help get these shots out to our citizens.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, so obviously we've been working with the Department of Public Health, our local and both the district office for several weeks. Literally the day after we posted our first mass vaccination site, we began working with them to establish more vaccines within the community. And so a lot of legwork from various departments, Park and Rec, Laura Fulcher, the facilities, senior services, all of us have worked together with the Department of Public Health to try to provide them as many options as we could. Initially, they wanted to do the old Margie Weaver building. That just unfortunately was just really not conducive to doing large quantities of vaccine. So we ruled that out pretty quickly. We looked at veterans and Matt Payne said, look, it's a go. We'll do whatever we got to do to make it happen. The issue with veterans, and all of us know, is we're still in that tier 1A phase, which is that 65 and older. And you have some of that, part of the community that just has mobility challenges, and veterans is not real conducive. It only has 6 handicapped spots that are right there in the close proximity of the building. So it was really the biggest challenge that we had. We presented it. We did a scaled layout to the Department of Public Health. I think they reached out to Commissioner Satterfield and Mr. Thurman and Chairman Thurman, and there was some discussion about the old bank building. But again, the same issue that they have at their current location with parking was somewhat the same issue that they had there. They're limited to about 20 parking spaces. Whereas veterans, even though we've got some parking challenges, they're challenges that we can still overcome and everything. So I think the last email I had from Jessica Baker, who is our nurse over the Dawson-Lumpkin area, is that they want to move forward with the veterans location. I think staff, I don't want to speak on behalf of Matt Payne, but I think we're all in agreement that we're still good with that. They're supplying all of the staff. So really the heavy lift's going to come from Matt Payne and his staff, because they're going to be helping set it up and break it down every day. But they haven't asked for any resources from us. They're going to use nursing students and everything else. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll answer any questions that you may have.
I think that's right, Chairman. I'm sorry. I think that's right. We brought it up just to make sure that we wanted to talk to Chief and then also to Matt and see how we can help on our end, or get facilities or finance or county manager, whatever, make sure y'all got, and Matt's got what he needs. And on the concern, we probably need to look at golf cart, a 3-seater golf cart that can shuttle people back from the front parking up by the pool back to the gym.
And Commissioner Satterfield, you're correct. Matt, myself, and Dawn, we all three met and we identified the biggest challenge we have is that transporting them on a rainy day like today,
Yes, that's
or a very cold day. We've had some cold days recently, and hopefully it's going to warm up soon. But nevertheless, they're looking at this event to be going from now to the end of the year. So this is a long sustaining project. And being responsible with taxpayer money, we discussed that both Parks and Rec, the senior services, and emergency services could all collectively go in and potentially look at it. We have reached out to the sheriff's office. I know that they have two that's over there, but they're not enclosed. So there is still some weather concerns there. It's really, something we can come back to if that is y'all's desire to move forward. We can move forward on that very, very quickly. I can have it to you. Matt and I we'll have it to you and present it at the next meeting if that's the choice that y'all would like. But like I said, that's really our only logistical issue is that parking. Anybody that's been there knows for that group walking in, that's a long ways. And so, the other thing we may want to engage, just making sure risk management from the HR side, because we will have those people, same as anything with, being on the property, but trying to reduce it as best we can. I'll work with McKee to make sure we get cones set up in that driveway access there. So we try to clearly identify hard surface, soft surface to drivers. We're going to cover every basis that we can.
Can y'all get that number back to us as far as the cost of that?
It'll be on the agenda for next. If that's the desire of the board, I'll have it to you.
It can be used by multiple.
That's correct. It won't be assigned. We'll decide where it's assigned to, but it can be utilized by all three departments in this county. I mean, it's a county asset. So as far as I'm concerned, it belongs to the citizens.
Are you talking about just one?
I mean, I think they're talking what, 200?
You're gonna have to have it.
I think if we get one, we'll be able to, because we can use a transit bus as well.
Okay.
To help us maybe as a little holding area to get in there and get them shuttled down. We may even be able to use the transit buses to help us. And so we're putting everything on the table. But at the end, we want to make sure that we're serving the community as best we possibly can.
And they're going to try to do around 200 a day for 4 days a week.
I think initially what I was told is they wanted to start at about 100 a day, but when they reach the peak of it, they're going to try to be doing 500 a day, 4 times a week. So it's a lot of vaccines and you're moving a lot of people. And again, hopefully at some point we're going to transition from 1A to 1B and everything. But nevertheless, all of the various phases, there are citizens and members of our community that have mobility challenges. And it's something that we just need to address and be able to provide it for them.
Is the state doing any other grants or anything for potential repayment for extra expenses that we're incurring?
Right now, Ms. Finkel, we received that public assistance grant. Forgive me. It's for, I think it's covering vaccine site time right now, just salaries. So like today, when we had several people on overtime from the fire department, we're able to put those salaries and those costs towards that public assistance side of it. But again, that's money that you're probably not going to see this year. It's going to probably, after we submit it, normally takes about a year for it to come back in. You're going to see it at some point, but right now, that's the only cost that I'm aware of that's covered. That a cart would not. And that's why I said if it's the desire, I can let you know that we feel that Parks and Rec, Emergency Services, and Dawn at Senior Services, all three agencies could collectively utilize that. And again, it's a county asset for anybody.
Other questions for Chief Thompson?
When would this start? Because I thought we were having trouble with getting vaccines.
That's
There you lie, say,
You always do this.
Sometime in March.
So you don't really.
We do not have a firm date as of now.
Okay.
It's tentatively sometime in March. And as that date is firm, you all will know. We will make sure that that information is shared to Ms. Fulton.
And you're gonna go 4 days a week?
That's what the Department of Public Health is wanting to do.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. So it's okay. They're setting it.
Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. Yes.
And they want
But you can do more than 100 in that time, can't you? Now
Agreed.
here I'm talking. I'm
100 a
not a
day.
nurse.
Agreed.
but they're only going to, that would be the starting number of vaccines that they would get per day.
Oh,
Correct.
okay.
So, they can do that. Like you said, 500 if they had them.
Okay.
Correct.
So the goal is to have a place and the ability, as those vaccines ramp up, the ability to give those shots to our citizens as fast as possible. And obviously that's what we all want.
You know the parking challenges at the current building. And that building, as you said,
In which,
where the local branch
Oh, there's no parking.
That's right. And so they have to be able to find an off-site location that enables us to be able to be sustainable for the community vaccination.
You also have, a space issue. You would have a space issue, obviously, if you had parking at the health department, because they don't have a place to monitor people. That time frame they need to, after you have your shot, for you to stay there and be monitored as
How
well.
long do you have to stay there?
15 minutes.
15 minutes. Well, now what usually goes on every day? You'll be in the gym part, of course. What's that going to do? And I mean, I'm all for it. I know this is priority, but what does that displace?
That is a China sports, but.
Okay.
Dawn and I have met and we've worked out an agreement where our, oh gosh, yoga, whatever else Buffy does, I'm not sure. She does a ton of stuff.
Okay.
All of those classes are going to meet at the older senior center. And so she's
Oh,
going
okay.
to provide us a place over there. We're going to do that up to 3 o'clock, break it down every day and go right into our nighttime activities.
Okay.
So there's a plan in place to cover it all.
We appreciate that. By the way, you did real well on that film strip or whatever you call it. It's
I
a
haven't seen
splot.
it yet, but I heard I was quite.
Oh, you were
attractive on
good.
there.
You were
Yeah.
good. Yes.
I'll
Matt,
be sure to check that out.
Matt, one more thing for you. Is there anything you see that y'all need as far as from the park and rec?
At present time, no, my guys are accepting the challenge of breaking it down every day. And right now, I may come back.
Okay.
But
Yes.
right now, I think that from a logistics standpoint, as long as they're providing the people doing the shots, we'll supply the maintenance.
I gotta say, we're in some, and we have been for the last 12 months, but we're in uncharted territory. And the way that your group, Laura, the way that they have stepped up and pulled alongside the state facilities in order to help increase the capacities that are available to serve our community is a prime example of what communities should do and what it should be about. And I had a few minutes before a board meeting this morning, and I drove down just to watch how the process was going at Rock Creek, and it was smooth. People getting out of the cold, going right in there, and while we're giving kudos, just thank y'all again and your staff. Make sure your staff is made aware that it's very much appreciated by everyone up here, as well as citizens that are taking advantage of the opportunities that we're providing. So thank y'all.
Thank
And
you.
do let us know about any problems. My crystal ball gets a little foggy sometimes, and I don't know all this. And I hear stuff after the fact. Why did y'all not do this? And why did you do that? Well, I can't do anything about something if I don't know about it. So just don't be shy. If you need something, tell us.
Okay. Good deal.
Y'all are good with them bringing back that information.
Yes, thank y'all.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
All right, we'll see you at the next meeting on that. All right, next up, we have the county manager report. Miss Vicky, you gonna do that?
Good afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. I only have a couple of items for you today. Your key indicator report for the month of January, as well as a list of agreements and contracts is in your packet. And also a little birdie told me that we have a birthday coming up, February 21st. So,
Now, who would that be?
don't know, might be a commissioner for District 3.
They have
maybe.
on a pink shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess because I got my card in there. But it wasn't for my happy birthday, it's from Social Security.
That's even better. You got money out of that deal.
So who wants to start off?
All right, so as tradition, we usually sing happy birthday. That means all you people out there got to help. You don't get to just watch.
As a county manager.
You get to help.
I don't think so. That would clear the room.
All right, so somebody start us off.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tim. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I have one more item for y'all. Happy birthday. But Chief Thompson is going to give you all an update on everything that went on today. And so your turn again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Come on up.
I feel like Jameson had a zoning here now, up and down. Yes, so as you're aware, today at Rock Creek, we did our second mass vaccination. This was pursuant to the one that we did on January 21st. We don't have the firm number, probably won't have that till sometime tomorrow. Again, we met and exceeded the same that we did last time down there. So really, my hat's off to so many people, so many departments inside of the county, to our local Department of Public Health, to the District Department of Public Health, but more importantly to the citizens, because they've been patient during this time when we haven't been able to get this vaccine to them as quickly as we would have liked. Our citizens and our community have been nothing but supportive of us. And so truly, thank you to everybody here. So with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have.
You know, I'll have a question.
Don't put me
How
on the
many
spot again.
people or what percent of people have a reaction? You said you had to stay 15 minutes after you, have you
So
seen much bad?
We've vaccinated over 1,600. And during that 15-minute observation between both events, we've had one person.
Okay.
So, and that may vary. I mean, you may run another event and have 1,600 and you may have 4 or 5. There's just a lot of factors that go into it.
And may I ask, what is the reaction? Can you say?
That individual was just dizzy. They complained of
Oh.
dizziness and that was it. So
And how long did that last?
5-10 minutes. The medics checked them out, put them on a heart monitor, ran vital signs, stayed with them for a good 15 to 20 minutes additional. They stood them up, checked another set of vital signs. He said, I feel good now. Maybe just a little reaction. And, obviously we send them a lot of people home with a little discharge paperwork, kind of gives them some signs and symptoms to, because there is some signs and symptoms that come with the vaccine. You've probably heard from a lot of people, they run the low grade fever, they had the body aches,
Chills.
and everything. But that's a good thing because that's your body's immune system building those antibodies. We talk a lot about antibodies, and that really is when your body has that reaction, that's your body doing the right thing for that vaccine.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions? Thank you, Chief. County Attorney report.
I do not have a public report, but do have a need for an executive session, please.
Okay, we'll do that after the voting session. Okay. All right, that's all we have on our work session agenda for today. We'll take a few-minute break to let our staff get prepared for our voting session. Thank you for your attendance, and we'll be right back, and we welcome you to